At 7:14, criminals are evolving and finding more sophisticated ways to steal your money. Super skimmers are now being used, and they're pretty hard to detect.
Yeah, Boston 25 News consumer reporter Jason Law explains why you could be at risk even with a chip card and what you can do to protect yourself.
Automated teller machines give you instant access to your cash. You assume the heavy steel vault and internal security systems protect your financial assets. You are wrong. International organized crime syndicates have developed physical modifications that bypass the security design of modern banking hardware. Banks cannot stop these attacks because they occur at the physical interface where your card touches the machine outside the digital network. If you use a debit card at an automated teller machine, your account is vulnerable. Today, we expose the 10 card skimming tricks banks cannot stop. Let us begin. Number 10. The deep insert shim. You pull up to an automated teller machine, look closely at the green plastic flashing card slot, and pull on it. It is solid. You insert your card, type your password, withdraw your cash, and leave. 12 hours later, your savings are gone. You fell victim to a deep insert shim, a device that makes external inspection completely useless. The specific mechanism relies on ultra-thin flexible printed circuit boards. Traditional skimmers are bulky plastic housings attached to the outside of the machine. The deep insert shim measures less than 0.2 millimeters thick. Criminals use a specialized mechanical tool to slide this flexible metal strip deep inside the internal card reader throat, past the physical shutter gate. The device sits directly on top of the internal read head contacts. It contains a microchip controller, a flash memory storage module, and a paper-thin lithium-ion battery. When you insert your debit card, the magnetic stripe or EMV chip slides directly over this hidden shim. The device intercepts the raw, unencrypted data stream as the machine transfers information from your card. Because it sits entirely inside the internal metal chassis, the external appearance of the machine remains unaltered. The green security lights flash normally. The machine operates without error codes. Banks cannot stop this attack because the hardware modification occurs inside the card reader assembly, manufactured by third-party suppliers. The bank network sees a legitimate card reading event. The internal software diagnostics fail to detect the minor voltage changes caused by the microcontroller. The criminal leaves the shim inside the machine for days, harvesting hundreds of card profiles before returning with a retrieval key to pull the device out. You must alter your insertion technique. When inserting your card, feel for physical resistance. If the card slot feels tight, or if your card requires force to push past the internal gate, an internal shim is present. Choose to cancel the transaction and retrieve your card when the mechanical insertion path feels restricted or lacks smooth motion. An internal shim captures the data on your card, but the criminals still need your personal identification number to access your cash. The overlay waiting at number 9 steals your keystrokes without using a camera. Number 9. The Unified Overlay Keypad. You verify the card slot is clear, look up to check for hidden cameras, and shield the keypad with your hand as you type your PIN. You assume your hand barrier guarantees security. You are mistaken. Criminals are intercepting your finger presses directly through the metal keys using a secondary overlay pad. The criminal presses this overlay directly on top of the legitimate automated teller machine keypad. It aligns with the factory keys. When you press a number, your finger pushes the overlay key, which registers the stroke on the criminal's internal membrane circuit before depressing the legitimate key underneath. The machine registers your PIN, and your transaction completes. Your hand shield covered the layout, but the overlay captured the electronic inputs. Banks cannot stop this trick because the keypad modification does not interface with the bank network or the operating software. The automated teller machine registers standard inputs. The physical design of the machine cannot detect a secondary layer of metal glued to the exterior chassis. The criminal returns later, pulls the overlay off, and links the time-stamped button presses to the card profiles harvested by a separate skimming module. You must perform a tactile inspection of the keypad structure. Factory pin pads are recessed into the security bezel of the automated teller machine framework. If the keypad surface sits flush with or protrudes past the surrounding plastic trim, an overlay is present. Grab the edges of the metal pad and attempt to shift it. A factory keypad is bolted to the steel frame. It will not move. An overlay will shift or peel away from the base. Choose to walk away from the machine if the keypad feels spongy, elevated, or moves when you apply horizontal pressure to the frame. Intercepting the keys requires physical contact, but what if the criminals convert your card data into audio waves? The modification at number 8 uses the headphone jack to steal your balance. Number 8. The Audio Jack Audio Skimmer. Modern automated teller machines feature an audio output jack designed for visually impaired users. This audio port provides step-by-step navigation through synthesized speech. Criminals have discovered a method to turn this accessibility feature into a physical wiretap that captures card data through analog audio conversion. The Audio Jack Skimmer utilizes the magnetic reed head from an old cassette player or credit card terminal. The criminal connects this reed head to an internal analog to digital converter and wires it directly into the internal audio circuit paths behind the plastic fascia of the automated teller machine. Alternatively, they place an external skimmer that loops a physical wire down into the auxiliary audio port. The criminal downloads the audio file, opens standard audio editing software on a laptop, and passes the sound wave through a digital low-pass filter. The software translates the audio pitches back into raw financial text strings containing your primary account number and track to data. Banks cannot stop this because the system views the hardware connection as an accessibility device drawing power or signal from the standard external port framework. If you notice external wires running from the card bezel down into the auxiliary audio jack frame, or if the audio port feels loose and pushed inside the casing, the machine is compromised. Choose to pay with physical cash or use a card at a different location when the public accessibility ports show signs of physical tool marks or external wiring modifications. If you are tired of financial institutions allowing outdated hardware ports to jeopardize your checking account balance, hit the subscribe button right now. We look directly at the engineering vulnerabilities the banking industry hides from the public. Using the external ports is common, but advanced crime syndicates prefer to open the machine entirely. The internal interception method at number 7 bypasses all external detection. Number 7. The internal cable wiretap. You check the outside of the machine. The plastic is pristine. The keypad is solid. The card slot is clear. You assume the machine is secure because the exterior matches the factory design. You fail to realize that a corrupt technician or a criminal with a master key opened the top cabinet and modified the internal wiring harness. The internal cable wiretap targets the Universal Serial Bus, or RS-232 serial cables that connect the physical card reader mechanism to the main computer core inside the automated teller machine upper housing. The internal security vault protects the cash safes, but the top cabinet containing the PC core is frequently made of thin plastic or light sheet metal secured by simple cylinder locks. Criminals purchase master keys online or subvert service personnel to gain entry. Once inside the top cabinet, the criminal inserts a hardware splitter directly into the data cable running from the card reader to the motherboard. This splitter contains a microprocessor that captures the serial data packets in real time. The wiretap logs the unencrypted card data before it reaches the operating system software where bank encryption protocols are applied. The criminal routes a secondary wire to an internal cellular modem hidden within the plastic ventilation grills of the machine housing. Banks cannot stop this because the operating system continues to receive the expected signals from the card reader assembly. The physical tap operates passively, drawing minimal current and generating zero network anomalies. The data is transmitted via cellular networks to an off-site server every time a customer inserts a card. The exterior of the machine remains untouched. You must observe the physical security of the machine cabinet. Inspect the seams where the upper plastic housing meets the lower steel vault structure. If the lock cylinder on the upper cabinet appears drilled out, replaced, or loose, an unauthorized entry has occurred. Look for gaps in the plastic panels that suggest the housing was forced open. Choose to cancel your transaction immediately if the upper cabinet panels show physical separation, or if the key lock assemblies show signs of tampering. Internal taps capture the digital data, but the pin still requires visual or digital capture. The optical array at number 6 uses military-grade lenses to watch your fingers from unexpected angles. Number 6. The Pinhole Spy Camera Array. You cover the keypad from the top, assuming a camera must look down to read your inputs. Criminals anticipate this defense.
A 10 News Morning Original. New reporting first at 6. Police are cracking down on a new crime wave across California. Thieves slipping cameras onto ATMs to record your credit card information. 10 News reporter Jared Aarons is...
The most common hiding location is a fake brochure holder attached to the side of the machine, a replacement light fixture bar directly above the screen, or a counterfeit security inspection sticker affixed to the side panel. The camera does not point straight down. It is angled horizontally across the face of the pin pad. When you place your hand over the top of the keypad, the side-mounted camera captures the movement of your fingers from underneath your palm barrier. Banks cannot stop this because the cameras are self-powered, self-contained, and completely isolated from the automated teller machine electronics. They do not intercept data packets or alter the mechanical function of the reader. They are physical parasites attached with industrial adhesive to the exterior plastic shroud. The criminal reviews the video footage on a computer, aligning the timestamps of the video with the timestamped card logs grabbed by a separate skimming device. You must execute a comprehensive visual search of the surrounding frame structure. Run your finger over any plastic trim pieces, brochure slots, or light bars adjacent to the keypad. Look for tiny, perfectly circular holes in the plastic that contain a reflective glass surface. Feel for anomalous raised edges on flat panels that indicate a secondary plastic layer was glued over the factory casing. Choose to obscure your PIN entry from the sides and front simultaneously using a physical object like a wallet or notebook rather than just your flat hand when using an outdoor machine. Spy cameras capture your physical movements, but modern chip cards were supposed to eliminate this risk. The exploit at number 5 targets the EMV chip directly, breaking the bank's ultimate security system. Number 5. The smart shimmer banks told the public that the introduction of EMV chip cards would permanently eliminate card skimming. They claimed the cryptographic handshake made cloning impossible. They failed to mention the smart shimmer, a device that exploits a flaw in the fallback protocols of the global banking system. The smart shimmer is a modification of the deep insert skimmer, engineered specifically to communicate with the internal microchip of your debit card. It consists of an ultra-thin circuit board that intercepts the communication lines between the machine's internal read pins and the gold contacts on your card chip. It does not clone the cryptographic private key, because that key remains locked inside your card's secure element. Instead, the shimmer executes a man-in-the-middle attack on the public data fields. It captures the cardholder name, the primary account number, and the track 2 equivalent data stored on the chip. More importantly, it alters the card's service code parameter during the reading process. The service code tells the automated teller machine whether the card contains an EMV chip. The shimmer alters this code to signal that the chip is broken or missing, forcing the machine to execute a fallback transaction using the unencrypted magnetic stripe data. Banks cannot stop this because the modification exploits a systemic legacy backup feature. If banks disabled fallback transactions entirely, millions of customers with scratched chips would be unable to access their funds, causing massive customer service failures. The automated teller machine operating system processes the fallback transaction as a legal event, completely unaware that the shimmer forced the protocol downgrade. The criminal prints this data onto a standard magnetic stripe card and withdraws cash from older terminals that lack chip readers. You must monitor the machine's screen prompts during insertion. If you insert a chip card and the machine repeatedly displays an error message stating the chip cannot be read, forcing you to reinsert the card to use the magnetic stripe, a shimmer is active inside the terminal slot. Choose to terminate the session and locate a newer terminal if a modern machine fails to read your chip on the initial attempt and demands a magnetic fallback sweep. If you are tired of banks using outdated legacy software protocols to protect your hard-earned checking account balance, hit the like button right now. It signals to the algorithm that consumers demand real engineering standards over corporate convenience. The shimmer defeats the chip, but what if the criminals intercept the data after it leaves your card but before it enters the local network? The method at number 4 targets the exterior entry doors. Number 4. The vestibule door. Shunt. You avoid standalone automated teller machines on dark street corners. You choose to use the secure terminal located inside the bank's glass vestibule. You slide your card through the magnetic lock reader on the exterior door to unlock the entrance. You assume the bank controls this secure entry point. You are wrong. The door reader is completely exposed to physical manipulation. The vestibule door shunt targets the secondary card readers installed on the exterior walls of financial institutions. These readers control the electronic magnetic locks on the glass doors to provide 24-hour access to indoor machines. Because these readers are mounted outside the building, exposed to public streets, criminals can modify them without entering the secure vault perimeter. Banks cannot stop this because the door lock mechanism is an independent facility management system. It is completely separate from the automated teller machine network and the core banking ledger software. The system only looks for a valid magnetic track sequence to trigger a relay switch for the door lock. It lacks the internal telemetry to detect an electronic parasite attached to the exterior brick or stone casing. You must inspect the vestibule access hardware before sliding your card. The door reader should be flush with the masonry or metal frame. If the reader housing appears loose, utilizes mismatched plastic colors, or sticks out significantly from the wall, it is compromised. Alternatively, use any card with a magnetic stripe, like a gym membership card or a grocery loyalty card, to test the door. The locking mechanism only checks for a physical stripe structure, not bank routing numbers. If the gym card unlocks the door, you gain entry without exposing your debit card. Choose to use an alternate card to unlock vestibule entry doors to create a physical security firewall between the street-level hardware and your actual financial accounts. Modifying the door reader captures data outside the building, but what if the criminals manipulate the actual communication grid wirelessly? The network exploit at number 3 captures your data through the air. Number 3. The rogue wireless access point. Modern automated teller machines are no longer bound by physical telephone lines or hardwired fiber optic cables. To reduce installation costs, banks utilize commercial cellular routers mounted inside the machine shroud to transmit encrypted transaction data through the cellular data grid. Criminals exploit this wireless link by deploying local network interception arrays. The rogue wireless access point exploit utilizes an electronic device known as a software-defined radio or a cellular base station emulator. The criminal conceals this hardware inside a briefcase or a parked vehicle within 50 feet of the automated teller machine. The device broadcasts a high-powered cellular signal that mimics the local network tower operated by major telecommunications utility providers. The wireless router inside the automated teller machine searches for the strongest network signal to establish a data connection. The criminal's rogue base station overrides the legitimate tower signal, forcing the automated teller machine router to connect directly to the criminal's hardware. Every transaction packet transmitted by the machine now passes through the criminal's digital access point before being routed to the actual internet grid. Banks claim their data is protected by transport layer security encryption. However, criminals utilize known cryptographic implementation flaws or outdated encryption protocols running on legacy automated teller machine operating systems to execute a decryption attack. They extract the transaction blocks, read your primary account number, and secure PIN strings, and re-encrypt the data before passing it to the bank core to ensure the transaction clears without dropping the connection. Banks cannot stop this because they cannot control the public radio frequency spectrum. The wireless router inside the machine operates on commercial bands, completely vulnerable to signal jamming and cell site simulation attacks executed from public property. You must observe the physical communication hardware of standalone terminals. If you notice external plastic antenna pods mounted to the top of an isolated kiosk showing signs of physical cracking, or if a wireless antenna wire runs outside the steel vault shroud, the network boundary is vulnerable. Choose to utilize automated teller machines located inside physical brick-and-mortar bank branches rather than independent standalone kiosks in parking lots or convenience stores, as indoor machines rely upon internal hardwired fiber optic infrastructure. Network interception targets the data stream, but what if the criminal intercepts the physical cash delivery system inside the tray? The mechanical trap at number 2 holds your money hostage. Number 2, the transaction reversal loophole. You insert your card, enter your PIN, select your cash amount, and wait. You hear the internal mechanisms counting the bills. The shutter gate opens, but no cash emerges. The screen displays a system error message stating the transaction failed. You assume the machine experienced a mechanical jam, take your receipt, and walk away to resolve it with customer service tomorrow. You just left your cash in the hands of a mechanical trap. The transaction reversal loophole utilizes a physical device known as a cash claw or a shutter trap. This is a thin, flexible aluminum strip painted matte black to match the internal color of the automated teller machine cash dispensing tray. The criminal inserts this claw directly into the cash slot during a brief window when the shutter door cycles open. The claw contains internal barbs or heavy-duty double-sided adhesive tape facing inward. When you execute your withdrawal, the internal mechanical belts push the stack of currency toward the exit slot. The cash hits the criminal's hidden claw, and the internal adhesive or barbs permanently grab the edge of the currency stack. The flexible metal frame blocks the bills from sliding out past the rubber lips of the outer tray shroud. Banks cannot stop this because it targets the mechanical fail-safe protocols engineered to protect consumers from machine errors. The operating system cannot distinguish between a legitimate internal paper jam and an external physical obstruction applied by a human predator. You must manually verify the cash dispensing channel before authorizing a transaction. Look inside the horizontal slot where the bills emerge. The exit path must be completely clear of external plastic strips, visible adhesive residue, or metallic teeth. If the cash door looks uneven or appears jammed open by a fraction of an inch, do not use the terminal. Choose to remain stationed directly in front of the automated teller machine if the machine counts your cash but fails to dispense the bills. Call the bank's security number immediately from your phone while physically blocking the terminal from public access until a technician or law enforcement arrives. We know you have seen automated teller machines that displayed strange error screens or failed to dispense cash. Go down into the comments right now and tell us exactly what happened during your transaction failure. Let us expose these mechanical traps together. The transaction reversal trap steals your physical currency, but the most sophisticated attack on the global banking infrastructure completely clones your secure credit or debit card profile without your card ever entering an automated teller machine. The proximity trick at number 1 targets your wallet through your clothes. Number 1. The wireless proxy relay. The ultimate skimming exploit completely removes the need for criminals to install physical hardware on automated teller machines. It targets your debit card while it rests inside your wallet, utilizing your own smartphone or the ambient radio frequency matrix of public transit infrastructure to drain your life savings. The wireless proxy relay weaponizes near-field communication protocols. Banks embedded an unshielded antenna loop inside modern contactless debit cards to allow consumers to complete transactions by waving the plastic over a point-of-sale reader. Criminals exploit this permanent wireless availability by executing a real-time cryptographic relay attack. The operation requires 2 criminals working in digital synchronization over a cellular network. The first criminal walks through a crowded location, such as a train station, airport terminal, or sporting event, carrying a high-powered commercial RFID transceiver concealed inside a leather briefcase or a sleeve. This transceiver continuously broadcasts an electronic poll command on the 13.56 MHz frequency used by global banking institutions. When the criminal passes within 12 inches of your pocket, the transceiver broadcasts enough electromagnetic energy to power on the internal chip inside your debit card through your clothing. The chip boots up and transmits its unique public identifier and cryptographic transaction properties. The criminal's transceiver captures this data and streams it over a high-speed cellular data network to the second criminal, who is standing directly in front of an automated teller machine miles away. The second criminal holds a digital card emulator device against the automated teller machine contactless tap reader. The emulator receives the real-time card data streamed over the cellular link and rebroadcasts it to the automated teller machine reader. The automated teller machine requests a cryptographic challenge response. The emulator sends the challenge back across the cellular link to the first criminal's transceiver, which passes it to the card in your pocket. Your card calculates the response and sends it back. The automated teller machine validates the cryptographic handshake, assumes the physical card is touching the tap pad, and unlocks the account. The second criminal withdraws maximum cash and the card never left your wallet. Banks cannot stop this because the cryptographic handshake is mathematically authentic. The time delay of the cellular relay is optimized to complete within the milliseconds allowed by the global EMV processing standards. The security network logs a valid tapped transaction authorized by the genuine internal security keys of your plastic card. You must change your physical card storage parameters immediately. You must place your contactless debit cards inside a verified radio frequency shielding enclosure or an engineered metal wallet casing. This physical metal shield acts as a Faraday cage, blocking external radio frequency fields from exciting the internal copper antenna loop. When a criminal approaches you with a transceiver, the metal framework grounds the signal, returning zero data to the scanning terminal. Choose to completely wrap your cards in inductive shielding material or request a non-contactless card from your issuer when you navigate high-density public spaces where electronic proximity scanning cannot be physically monitored. The global banking complex prioritizes transaction speed and corporate convenience over the physical security of your cash reserves. They design hardware that satisfies minimum regulatory metrics while leaving the consumer to bear the burden of physical fraud validation. Stop trusting the plastic housing and the blinking green security lights. You must rely upon your own physical inspection routines and structural barriers to secure your financial independent future. If you want to protect your savings and discover how to bypass the complex engineering traps deployed by organized crime rings, you must study the hardware vulnerabilities. Click the next video popping up at the left on your screen right now to discover how scammers steal your personal data. We expose design flaws your banks are hiding from you. Click it and I'll catch you there.